Okay. So, have you ever noticed this thing where it feels like your brain is just running a million different taps at the same time?
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's like yesterday's to-do list is still like breathing down your neck, and then like next month's presentation is already giving you anxiety.
Yeah, you're already feeling that knot in your stomach.
Exactly. It's like we're never really just here, like just present in the moment.
It's true. It's like we're constantly bouncing between the past and the future, and we kind of miss out on the now. Like the
Exactly.
present moment just slips away.
Yeah, and that's actually what made me think of this piece that you sent over by Kenton Patterson. It's about living in the moment and enjoying life. And it really struck me because it's not just like this vague idea.
Right.
He really frames it as something that you actively do.
Yeah, he really emphasizes it's about making that shift from just letting life happen to you to actively participating in what's happening right now. And one of the things that really resonated with me is how he talks about appreciating the here and now instead of getting caught up in what's already gone or what might be coming.
And I think that's what makes this so relevant for our listeners too, right? I mean, you're juggling work and family life and who knows what else. And I'm sure our listeners are in the same boat. We don't have time for these like abstract concepts.
Absolutely.
So for this deep dive, I really want us to focus on like the practical takeaways from Patterson's ideas. Like, what are the actual techniques that we can use? What kind of shifts in perspective can we expect to experience if we start implementing these ideas? We want to give our listeners something concrete that they can actually apply to their lives.
Yes, exactly. And we don't want to make it feel like just another thing they have to add to their to-do list.
Right. Exactly.
It should be about empowering them to experience life in a more engaged and fulfilling way.
Exactly. So we'll dive into what it actually means to live in the present moment and explore the benefits that come with that, and then look at some tangible strategies that we can weave into our daily lives.
Sounds great.
All right, so let's start with that core idea then. Living in the moment as a practice, what does that really mean?
So when you hear that phrase, think about intentionally focusing your attention on your present experience.
Hmm.
It's about acknowledging everything that's happening right now, both internally, like your thoughts and emotions, and externally, the things you're seeing, the sounds you're hearing, even the physical sensations in your body.
Okay.
And the key here is to do all of this without judgment. It's not about analyzing or criticizing. It's just about observing. And Patterson really stresses the importance of valuing and engaging with the here and now.
So it's not like we're suddenly trying to forget our past or just throw away all our plans for the future.
No, not at all. That's a really important point. Mindfulness, which is central to Patterson's idea of living in the moment, doesn't mean erasing your history or neglecting your responsibilities. It's about experiencing life as it unfolds. You can still learn from your past and plan for your future, but your primary focus, your real engagement, should be with the present moment.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance then, right?
Exactly.
Now, Patterson talks a lot about mindfulness and presence. Are those basically the same thing, or is there a subtle difference between the two?
They're definitely closely related.
Yeah.
Patterson defines mindfulness as being fully engaged in the present moment without judgment.
Hmm.
And I think in this context, presence is kind of like the state that mindfulness helps you achieve.
Okay, I see.
So mindfulness is like the active process of paying attention, and presence is the result. It's that feeling of being completely immersed in whatever you're doing.
That makes sense.
And Patterson points to a few techniques that can help you cultivate mindfulness.
Hmm.
Things like deep breathing exercises, meditation, and really tuning into your senses.
Tuning into your senses.
Yeah, like really paying attention to what your body is telling you and what's going on around you. It's about being present in your physical experience as well as your mental and emotional experience.
So it's about noticing things that we might normally just filter out.
Exactly. And Patterson actually gives this really great example. He says, next time you go for a walk, pay attention to the sounds around you. The birds chirping, the leaves rustling. Notice the colors, the way the sunlight feels on your skin, and the different scents in the air. He says that even something as simple as that can help you feel more grounded in the present and increase your overall awareness.
Wow, it makes you realize how much we probably miss when we're not paying attention.
It really does.
So let's talk about the benefits then. What are some of the positive things that can happen when we make this effort to be more present?
Patterson outlines 4 main benefits, and they're all pretty significant.
Okay, lay them on me.
So the first one is greater happiness. And the idea here is that when you're focused on the present moment, you're more likely to find joy in the everyday things instead of always waiting for some big future event to make you happy.
It's like we get so fixated on what's down the road that we miss all the good stuff that's happening right now.
Exactly. The second benefit is stronger relationships. And this makes sense because when you're truly present with someone, you're giving them your undivided attention. You're listening more deeply and connecting on a more meaningful level because you're not distracted by your phone or your own thoughts.
And that kind of presence is so rare these days. It's like a gift that you can give to someone.
It really is. The third benefit is enhanced performance. Whether it's at work or in your personal life or even just having a conversation when your mind is focused and present, you're going to perform better. You're less likely to make mistakes, you'll remember things better, and you'll just be more engaged overall.
Because you're not splitting your attention a million different ways.
Exactly. And the final benefit Patterson mentions is inner peace. When you learn to accept the present moment as it is, without resisting or wishing things were different, it can really reduce your internal struggle and lead to a greater sense of well-being and calm.
And I think a lot of people are really craving that inner peace right now, especially with everything going on in the world.
Definitely.
Now let's talk about stress and anxiety, because that's something that so many people struggle with. How does living in the moment connect to those feelings?
Well, Patterson explains that a lot of our stress and anxiety comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future.
Like replaying old mistakes or imagining worst case scenarios.
Exactly. And when we're constantly time traveling like that, we lose touch with the present moment, which is often much less scary than the stories we're creating in our heads.
So it's like we're creating problems for ourselves by living in a reality that doesn't even exist yet.
Exactly. And Patterson offers a few techniques to help us break out of those thought patterns. Things like deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, and guided meditation. And the key with all of these is that they redirect your focus to the present moment, to the sensations in your body and the things you're experiencing right now.
Like a reset button for your mind.
Exactly. He also mentions journaling as a really powerful tool. When you write down your thoughts and feelings, it can help you process them in a healthier way.
That's interesting. I've always thought of journaling as a way to reflect on the past, but I guess it can also help you stay grounded in the present.
Definitely. Now, aside from reducing stress and anxiety, Patterson also talks about the importance of finding joy in the everyday moments.
Which I love, but sometimes it feels hard to do right.
It can be. I think we get so caught up in achieving these big milestones that we forget to appreciate the little things. But Patterson argues that true happiness isn't just about those big achievements, it's about finding joy in the ordinary moments.
So what kind of moments are we talking about here?
He gives some really simple examples, like sharing a laugh with a friend, the smell of rain after a long dry spell, the feeling of getting lost in a good book. He says that these moments have the potential to bring us so much joy if we just slow down and allow ourselves to experience them fully.
It's like we have to train ourselves to notice the good things that are already happening around us.
Exactly. And he recommends making a conscious effort each day to do things that make you happy, no matter how small they might seem. Even things like making eye contact and smiling at a stranger dancing to your favorite song, or really savoring each bite of your meal. He says that these little moments, when we really appreciate them, add up to a much more fulfilling life.
I love that. It's about shifting our focus from the big picture to the little details that make up our day-to-day experience. Now, Patterson also talks a lot about the importance of gratitude. How does that fit into this idea of living in the moment?
Gratitude is a really powerful way to connect with the present moment. Patterson describes it as choosing to appreciate life as it is. When we focus on what we have instead of what we're missing, it creates a sense of contentment and joy in the present.
It's like choosing to see the good instead of dwelling on the negative.
Exactly. And he suggests a really simple practice to cultivate gratitude, starting a gratitude journal and writing down 3 things you're grateful for every day. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It could be something as simple as a kind gesture from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or even just a quiet moment to yourself.
So it's about recognizing the good things in our lives, no matter how small they might seem.
Exactly. And Patterson points out that practicing gratitude has a double benefit. It not only makes you feel happier and more content, but it can also strengthen your relationships and make you more optimistic overall. When you're focused on the good things, you're less likely to get bogged down by negativity.
I think that's a really valuable reminder. Now, I can imagine some of our listeners thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but I still have deadlines to meet and bills to pay and goals I want to achieve. How do I balance this idea of living in the moment with my ambition and my plans for the future?
That's a great question, and Patterson addresses it directly in his work. He says that living in the moment is not about neglecting your responsibilities or giving up on your dreams. It's about finding a balance between mindfulness and ambition. You can still be focused on your goals, but you can approach them with more presence and awareness. In fact, being more present can actually help you achieve your goals because you'll be more focused and less distracted by worry and anxiety.
So it's not about becoming passive or giving up. It's about approaching life with more intention and awareness.
Exactly. And to sum it all up, Patterson says that the key ingredients for a more fulfilling life are practicing presence, reducing stress, and appreciating the simple things. And those things aren't in conflict with ambition. They actually support it.
I love that. This has been such a insightful conversation. Patterson's work offers such a clear and practical approach to living a more mindful and joyful life. So as we wrap up, what's the one message you really want our listeners to take away from this?
I think it's the line that Patterson uses in his conclusion, where he says, life is happening now, don't let it pass you by. It's such a simple but powerful reminder that the present moment is all we really have.
That's beautiful. And to leave you with something to think about, try this little experiment. Choose one small moment today that you would normally just rush through or not even notice. Maybe it's the feeling of the water on your hands when you wash them, the taste of your next sip of coffee, or the sensation of your feet on the ground as you walk. And just pause for a moment and really pay attention to that experience. See what you notice when you slow down and bring your full awareness to it. You might be surprised by what you discover.
It's like rediscovering the world around us.
Exactly. So until next time, be present, be grateful, and enjoy the little things.
And we'll see you in the next deep dive.
Sounds good.